Came down to the boat, got rained out of work, as you can see. I'm going to come down here and tackle a little project. Got a couple that I want to do actually, but I'll tackle one of them today. I ordered, let's see, I ordered a new mixing valve because that one there, it's weird because it's the one that, just lets hot or cold water in. Oh, it's a freaking battery. Hey, I charge it for a little bit. Alright, where was I? So, that mixing valve for the faucet, it, when you have it over all the way at hot and turn the water on, it's full pressure hot. But as soon as you start coming off of hot, it starts to introduce the cold and kind of shut the hot right off. So when you come back, as you're coming back, the water loses pressure until you get to cold, and then it starts gaining pressure again. So I'm not sure that that's proper for the way the boats are set up with the pump, the water pump and the hot water heater. I don't know. It has to do something with pressure. And I know when I took that thing apart and brought it outside and ran water through everything and worked it back and forth, it's got full flow through either when you introduce the same pressure on each side. But for some reason, when you start bringing this back to cold, you start shutting off the hot water and you lose pressure first. If that makes any sense, I don't know. But anyways, it's annoying to take a shower down here because it's mostly cold water, because if you try to bring it anywhere towards hot, it starts shutting off. So I got another mixing valve where it's just a hot knob and a cold knob, and then that should repair that, but that comes in Thursday. But the job I'm doing today is kind of nasty. The shower sump that was down in here, it went out on me when I got the boat, so I knew I was going to have to replace either the pump or everything. And after tearing into this thing, the inlets, where you hook your hoses up to, are all broken up, rotten and everything. It's got this nasty sludge that's dried all in there from God knows when. So I ended up buying a whole new setup. It's the pump, the float is integrated in the pump, a whole new box with the outlets. So I just have to come back here with a pair of pliers and get the plastic out of that hose and out of this one. That hose is actually starting to fray at the end, so I might just cut it off clean about an inch back because there's enough slack in it. And this being the drain hose, goes just right in the floor here, so that's got enough room out too if I really want to cut that one. This one the part came right out of, but the new box comes in tomorrow. We're going to mount it up and get it hooked up. Alright, so before I go and do the tub or shower sump, I did a thing this morning. I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I've always been looking for a center console to mess around with. Oh, this one came up. She's old, she's beat up. She doesn't run. Hey, you, get back down here. Come here, get down. Get down in your gate. Go on. Hang on, let me put the dog away. You can't come up here like that, bud. You gotta keep this door shut. Okay? Gotta keep this door shut. So anyways, it doesn't run. Well, it does run. It runs on 2 cylinders. The floor is rotten, soft. But it's got a nice aluminum trailer. And it does have a 4-stroke, 90 horsepower. It runs on 2 cylinders. The other 2 cylinders, plugs are wet. Previous owner says he thought it had no spark. Somebody else looked at it and said it did have spark. So now he thinks the carburetors are not in sync or something going on in there. So I'm not positive what's going on there, but he confirmed that it has compression, all 4 cylinders. The pedal steel seats were taken out, so those holes got wet and the floor is wet. Or springy, spongy right there and spongy right there. I know underneath the floor here is all foam, and that's, I'm sure, just 100% saturated. Has an auxiliary fuel tank, so that means that tank is most likely rotten and leaking into the foam. So I knew that going into this, that pull out the center console, tear out the whole floor, tear out all the foam, redo the stringers if it needs them, most likely. Transom seems okay. I mean, it's hard as a rock. There's nothing going on there. I did notice some discoloration by these cracks, but I noticed there's 4 holes that were covered. So I don't know what that is, but it's not. It doesn't sound bad. But, you know, once the floor is out of here, we'll dig into that and do it. But yeah, this is cool. It's a 1971 Mako, 19-footer on a aluminum trailer. So this thing is going to be exactly what I want for weekends, or, you know, going fishing out here, or like weekends, taking it to different places and dropping in the water and then going, because I got the 37-footer. You're obviously not trailering that. So wherever you go is very, very expensive. But this one, you just stick it behind the trailer, or stick it behind the truck and take off. The skeg is broken off, but it's here, so I can have that re-welded back on. And the prop got mangled. I was thinking about changing this one to a stainless prop anyways. They got some weird stuff going on here with this bracing, so I don't know if the transom is actually soft in here and that's what they did to do it, but at any rate, the motor's going to come off of it. This get gutted and go from there. Previous owner, before the guy that I got it from, had some hard hits with it. Let's see where. This is shiny, so that was repaired. This is shiny, that was repaired. I can see a couple little dents in here. Shiny there, and this is the, oh, this is pretty shiny. And then where was the bad one? Was it this one? Maybe it was the other side. Maybe it was this one. It's like not fared right. But I want to change out the rub rail to something a little nicer, and I want to paint the boat. I'm thinking like a blue, like an aqua mist or whatever they call that, after everything's done. And then I also want to sea deck it. I want to sea deck this part and possibly the floor. This is also going to be a bomb around town with my wife boat, so not only is it going to be a fishing boat, but I'm going to need to have some type of seating up there that is removable but comfortable, and, you know, something for her. Definitely new cushion here. I'm going to put a leaning post in here. It looks like there was 2 pedestals, so there's probably a nice big leaning post. Do the same thing. And if there's any room behind it, maybe a cooler. I'm not really sure. It's all a pipe dream at this point. But I just picked it up. I just drove home with it. So I haven't really done anything to it yet, obviously. No battery in it, so I can't even check the up and down. I'm taking the guy's word for it. The price was right on it. It is what it is. So we'll figure it out. And I don't know when I'm going to start the series, but I will make this a series of the entire rebuild. All of it. Oh, and also what I want to do is T-tops. I want to put a nice T-top over the top of it. Now, obviously these are, I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know, have any idea of what has to happen first. I might, because, hang on, let me get in here. Because the floor isn't, it's bad right there. Right there it's bad. Everywhere else it seems to be okay. And then up here, where this pedestal was, this isn't even really that bad. It's not mushy. I know it's wet. I know there's, you know, everything's wrong with it and it's got to come out. But I was thinking about, if the motor runs, stick it in the water and see how it goes. I don't know what all that stuff is. And go from there. Oh, it goes all the way through. Okay. Battery box. So that's the covers for the engine. He had this apart, so all the top covers off of it and stuff inside. But, you know, paint it, new stickers, fix the lower unit, get it running. That's a nice motor right there. 90 horsepower Merc, four stroke too. No stinky 2 strokes. It is carbureted, but that's okay. Carbureted's easier to work on than fuel injection. Okay, that's it. That's what we got. We read the instructions on this new box, and because it has this little sensor inside instead of being a float switch, it came with these 2 positive wires here linked together. So I don't know if you're supposed to separate those and hook them into the browns that were here, or if they're if this is the new design. It doesn't even say anywhere in the instructions. It says hook up the power wire, which is the brown and white striped wire, and then the negative wire. It doesn't say anything about these other 2 wires that are looped together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what they said in the book, hook up those 2 wires, leave these 2 browns not connected. So let's see here. So this brown here, this brown and this brown here are supposed to, on the old pump, hook to here, but they're not. So I don't know what to do, to be honest with you. But I don't think I'm going to hurt anything by hooking these up like they should be. And then maybe I'll take the cover off and fill it with water and see what it does. But before I do that, I got to cut the ends off here of this one and this one. That one stays where it is. This is the outlet. This pushes the water out of the boat. This comes from the shower drain, and this goes from the air conditioner. I've had the air conditioner on for a while, and I can see now that we have condensation coming out of the clear hose, which tells me that is the air conditioner. Okay, good. So the air conditioner is going to go here. The black one is discharge, and then the big white one is right here. So let me get these ends cut off, and we'll get back down here and hook it up. Little heat cripper thingies. You need a heat gun for them, and I don't have one. I have a lighter. So I'm going to try. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm also going to get a piece of shrink tubing on here, because I have a feeling that this thing is going to try to burn on me. So I might just need to put a heat shrink tubing over the top of it when I'm done. But that's a nice good connection there when you do the barrel connection like that. Bring this over here. Let me get a lighter and see what it does. To burn through the rubber before it melts that solder. Oh, no, it seems to be working. Alright, good. Seems to work pretty good. Right now, as added protection, I'll just put this piece of shrink. Ouch. That lighter's hot on your elbow. Don't do that. Just put this over there too. A little bit too big for this. Alright, that'll do. So let me get the black one hooked up, and then we'll test it out. This is what we got. I got this powered up. I have to hold my hand over the end here. If it does come out of here, I imagine it's going to try to shoot across the boat. So, I don't know how high this... Oh, man. Is this watertight? Yes. Alright, so, with any luck, once this gets up to water height, once it gets up high enough for this thing to turn on, with any luck, it'll turn on. I feel like that should have turned it on by now. If this one doesn't do it, I think that we need to hook those wires up differently. That didn't do it. Okay. I'm going one more. Submerge that thing. If it isn't, then I gotta hook those brown wires up. Yeah, okay. I was falling out of there, so yeah, this isn't working. So, looks like I gotta hook those browns up after all. I don't know why they came hooked up already to each other. Maybe that's just for shipping or whatever, but it didn't say anything in the instructions. So, I have 2 brown wires coming out of here and 2 brown wires that I unhooked. So, let me go turn off the breaker again and we'll do that. Okay. We can hook these wires up, I'll get back to you. Something is screwed up because now that I have the box empty, when I turn the sump on, it goes on. It's not supposed to, unless I'm screwing something up. This is a float sensor. Water comes up, triggers it on, goes off. You're supposed to have a power wire going to it right there, and then a ground coming off. Hang on a minute. Oh, hang on a minute here. Okay. Be as simple as these 2 brown wires are opposite, because I got a... This is supposed to be the power wire, and it's hooked up to the float switch. And then the ground wire. Right, is this ground? I think it's a ground. Can't read it, it's upside down. Fastened to, yeah, to negative only. So this is the ground wire. Then these 2 wires are both hot. So it can, once the plunger goes up, it's supposed to connect power, run power from there around into here. Do I have them backwards? Is it even possible? Let me switch that around real quick. So the way this is supposed to work, this is positive to the battery, which would be on the other side of my switch when it's in the on position, okay? So once the switch is on, it feeds power down into here, into this box, and then this is negative. This goes to a ground. So in order to complete the circuit, the water rises and triggers a switch, which then completes the circuit from there to this wire, across this wire, into the pump, and then the pump pumps on. Over here, I just pulled back the wiring. This is my negative wire that goes to the black wire, and then this 1 brown wire in here has this tag on it that says that says positive, okay? That brown wire right there. And that brown wire is this one. So, in a sense, this black wire should go to the ground, and that one should go to the positive right there. And then when the water gets a certain height, it should switch over. These two other wires were wired up to the other float switch on the other pump. But it doesn't show it. Like now, when I hook those wires up, then it's constantly powered, and then as soon as you turn on that switch, it pumps on. The pump turns on. So I'm confused as to why this isn't coming on when it senses water when I hook it up the right way. I'm gonna hook it up again and put water in it, and we're gonna see what it does. But I'm kind of stumped here. I don't think I use these two wires here anymore. I think these were for the old pump, the way it was. Maybe that was for a manual switch. This is probably for a manual switch, right? Which would say why it was turning on as soon as I turn the breaker on, because I was feeding power into it, and then it was just turning on. So I don't. Is that switch bad? I don't know. If you get, for whatever reason, I figured it out. A different brown wire was the power for that breaker up there. So I'm not positive what that other one was for or why it was hooked that way. But let me get this cleaned up a little bit. I shot water everywhere. Let me get this cleaned up a little bit, and I'll show you what I did. This is very simple. The way it works is the way they ship it to you. These two wires are going to be connected from the factory by a quick connection there, and I believe they're to. You can take those off if you want to put a switch in, an inline switch, an override switch, and then you have a negative and a positive from your panel coming here. Unfortunately, with my old unit, it was one of these other wires here that they labeled as coming from the panel, and that was wrong. So I just cut those off flush so the wires are inside, and then I just put a piece of heat shrink over it to kind of keep them away. And now, so it's super simple. You got power coming in from your breaker box and a negative, and then the power goes across these two. So as soon as the water gets up to a level on this sensor, it completes the circuit and then pumps it out. So super easy. But yeah, my wire was just screwed up, so I don't know what happened there, but whatever. It's figured out now. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on it, get it down the hole, and see what we got going on. It's bolted to the floor or anything yet. I have the shower turned on, and we're going to see if and when this turns on. Oh, I should have turned on by now. Oh, there it goes. I don't like that it's staying on like that. I feel like it should shut off. Come back on. What's that noise? What in the world? Okay. What was that noise? Am I just hearing it pumping out of the side of the boat? I hope that's what I heard. If not, I think it's pumping in the... Oh, did I? Hang on a minute. Let me look. Okay. So that's working. It's not like I put it in a, I was worried I had the air conditioner. The air conditioner drain hooked up to the wrong one, and I was pumping it into there, into the tray, but I'm not. That is working just perfectly now. Alright, seems to be working. I'm gonna put this back together, put all the clamps back on, and I'll show you the final product. Alright, well there it is. A little bummed out that is in there like an angle, but I think it's because that white hose was on an angle. It's pretty, it's pretty rigid, so I think that's just kind of, they put the box to aim in line with it so you don't put pressure on that thing. But it's down in the bilge, it's out of sight. But as I was putting it together, it came on again because the condensation from the AC was going down there, so it's still working. So it is all in there. I'm gonna probably get a zip tie for those wires just to make them a little cleaner, but they're way up out of the bilge and high and dry. So that'll do it for this one. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and have a great day.